Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today is going to be the second half of this project of me building a new gate to go into my backyard and a lift-off gate for bringing in larger items, and this is going to be roughly 12 feet long, so I won't be lifting it off myself anymore. It'll be a two-man or two-woman lift-off gate. But I'm going to take you out and I'm going to show you what I got built so far, and I'd like to explain a couple of things first. I will be restrapping this whole face of the garage and putting the same siding like I put on my shed that I built last year in the backyard. But when you have, these are the leg screws that I used, and these are 3/8. Now, so many times when you go to your hardware store and you're buying hinges, I picked out 10-inch hinges, and if you take a look, they're always got like a little bit of a countersink in there for like a screw head. Well, 3/8, try and get a screw head in there that's actually going to hold anything up. Well, you just don't. So what I do is I actually go with a leg and put a washer on it. And that is the best, because I've seen so many gates over time, they sag and all this kind of stuff. And that's because they're putting in a deck screw or, you know, something that doesn't take up the total circumference of the hole of the hinge. So let's go out and I'll show you what I got there. Now, I do have the gate hung on there. It's not finished, but I thought it's a lot easier to explain to a lot of people who have never done this before some of the finer points and how I figure out what I'm doing. So let's go to that right now. Well, here we go right here. This is exactly where I left off last night, and you can see where I have the hinges, all legs screwed in. I got these on, and this hasn't moved since yesterday. Now, it did rain out. You could see I put a little bit of a scissor jack underneath there to get the right elevation, and as you can see here, I put two blocks in, two 3/4 inch blocks, and that's the space that I want. And you can see that's pretty even. And when you get over to this side, that's pretty even right there. So how do you get it like that? Well, what I do is I build the frame 1/4 inch bigger than I need on both sides. I press it up against the frame here on both sides and draw a line down. Then on the gate side, I make an allowance for the 3/4 inch gap. And you could see here what I've done is I'm putting the latch on the top here now, because we don't have any small children anymore, and I don't have a latch like I did back then, you know, for children to open up the gate. So this is the front side here, and you'll have to put your hand across, and you have to be tall enough to open up the gate, and I think that's fine. I don't know how you guys do things, but if you're wondering what the hole is there, that is going to be lattice. I'm going to put lattice in there, and if you notice all the way along here where all these joins are, there's no hardware at all. It's all glue, and I'm going to show you on this side here how I do that, because this is all going to be incorporated in. And I'm getting rid of these style of these came off a stake truck. I'm using a different style now, which will be a lot better. Now, this gate is 8 feet long, so you can see it's going to be a little bit longer here now. And like I said, I'm going to be restrapping the whole garage with this type of 5/4 board. I'll just rip them in half, and my siding will come on over top of here, so I'll have somewhere to have a nailing edge to. So let's get to it, and I'll show you a little bit more. But before we're finished here, I just want to show you, well, I hope this works, because this has been sitting out here all night just like that. Now, this is I guess, a $3 laser pen. So when you're trying to line up exactly, how do you know? Can you see how nice and even that is right there? How do you know? So what I do is I get my laser pen out, and on this side here, you can see how I've designed it. If we stand back here, you can just, right there, you can just see where my next board has got to go up here for this gate. But yeah, all I do is I put the laser pen on here, and I'll try and see if I can just press the button here for you, and we'll go right straight through here. I don't even know if that's going to show up. Is that showing up at all? Can you guys see that over there? I don't know. Let me just go over here with the camera. I don't even know if that's showing, but what it does is it shows exactly where to put that stud. Now, of course, there's an offset on this between the outside of the casing of a laser pen and the center, which is 1/4 of an inch, and that's exactly what you need for your hinges. You know, it's odd that I can't even see this, but it is showing up on the wall there. Okay, so when you're putting your hinge on, you have to make sure, so I got the wood exactly right here square with the post. So when you're putting your hinge on, yeah, you want to have that gap in there, because if you had the hinge further over this way and you tighten it down, you'd squeeze this hinge in here, and that'd be no good. Also, you have to take into allowance for winter. And yeah, you know, if you had this closer to here, you try to close the door when there's snow behind there, it would bind. So that's something else to think about. And yeah, all these seams here, no hardware, just glued. I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so let's get to it. Well, the first thing we're going to do is cut this sheet, and I got my chalk line out here, and we'll just stretch it out a bit. Pull her tight. There we go. That's as close as what I need. Let's start cutting. Let's see how we make out. Now, you're going to notice I got these. I'll show you what these are for in a minute. Okay, and I'll stay right there. I'm going to show you. You see the these little clamps here? Now that'll hold that while I get on the other side and finish cutting the other side. There we go. So that's a little bit of a handy helper, because if you were to try and cut just right straight through there, well, half your sheet would just fall on the ground on you, wouldn't it? There. Okay, I'll bring you back when, see how it just holds it? Okay, I'll bring you back when I cut the other side, and we'll attach it to the gate. Got the whole sheet cut. I'm ready to go. I got it placed inside the opening for the gate, and I just want to show you what I use. These are galvanized, and they're narrow gauge staples. Now the ones in here are 7/8 of an inch, and this is the tool right here. Very easy, very inexpensive to operate. The depth is adjustable by your air compressor pressure, and you just load the staples in there. See the staples? Close it up, ready to go. I'll show you how this is done. There you go. And you could see here where I'm going to put a piece of trim. This is a scrap piece. This is a piece of fence board, 3/4 inch. And I'm going to have that ripped to the same size as the front. and this will finish it off with a nice trim piece on the inside. I'll show you on the other side what it looks like. I think it's an easy enough project, and you could see that these staples, that's all you need. Plus you're going to have that little piece of a trim piece in here, and you'll never see that edge there. I'll open up the gate and let you have a good look. Well, there you go. And you know, that only took like 20 minutes to do, and I think it does look nice. In the future, I'm going to show you how I treat this, and but for now, let's start working on this other side here. And the first thing I have to do is move this gate out of the way, put in a piece of 2x6, screw it to the wall, and then start building this lift off fence here, right to here. Well, the first thing we got to do is get everything level. Now you can see the gate is dead on level there. We're going to come over to this side, and this time I ran a chalk line with a bubble float on it, and you guys take a look. You can see the difference between here and the top of the post. And let's go down here, and that's pretty well centered in there. And this is the mark for the gate, and this is the post. So the distance from here to here has to match the distance from here to here, and it does. So what I'll do now is I'll take the gate off there, I'll take that 4x4 post out of there, and I'll put a pressure treated 2x6, and it has to match up from here all the way to the other side perfectly. So I'll install that first and I'll bring you back. Well, it's the next day, poured down rain just after the last clip. And I just want to show you what I'm using. I'm using this particular product here. You can see how they're used for stake trucks, you know, for putting wooden sides on a trailer or that kind of stuff. And all I've done is just painted them. So you could see how, you know, they hook on top of each other like this. So this is the 90-degree one. That's the one that I'm going to be working on first. I'll bring you out, show you the gate. And what I've done was I just ripped a 5/4 board 12 feet long in half. No sense using the heavy parts to go out there and attach these two. Use the light parts and then attach the gate to it. So I'll show you what I got going on here. Let's go take a look. Well, let's take a look and see what I did. Look at that board back there. That 2x6 on the wall. You'd think I hung that with a laser. Okay, so I got that fastened on there, and what I've done here is I marked exactly where the top of this rail is going to go, and it corresponds to that corner there, the top of the gate. And as we go along here, it's she's pretty level there. And then right at this corner here is where I'm going to put one of them special painted hinges. So one will go on the face, and the other one will go on here, and it will just slide in. And then we'll come back to this end here, and we'll measure the distance and attach it on this one. I'll do the same with the bottom as well, and down here with the piece that are cut in half, and that way there you're not handling big material or anything. So once I got this all done, I can transfer it into the shop, and I'll show you the next part. Well, here we go here, and you'll get a better idea of the setup here. So I've got it right on my line right here now, and we'll go down to the end, and she's perfectly level. And you could see how these here actually just hook into each other. A little bit of a gap in the back side, and you see how I fasten this to the board, and the lattice is going to start here, and I'll do the opposite on the bottom. So I'll bring you back when I got the bottom and the top all attached, and then we'll measure for the lattice. Okay, so we got that all done. I got the top one on, I got the bottom one on. Now what we have to do is put the supports in between, and then that'll be right the perfect width between both. So now I can put the lattice on the back side. So I'll bring you back when that's done. Okay, we're back, and you can see what I've done here. I put this upright in here, this one here, and this one. And that's exactly 3 panels now. They're going to go in there with lattice, and I've got, you know, an edge all the way around on the top and the bottom to attach to. So you can see how I'll have a place to attach on the bottom, and then on the back side I'm going to put a 1x6 and screw it to this panel, and then I'll have a spot to attach up here. So I'll bring you back when that's done. Well, there she is. That's all I can do for today. I ran out of lumber, and you can see the whole idea here now, where I'll take you along the front side, and you can see where everything is nailed all the way around. So I'll take you around the other side and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, here we are on the other side, and you can see how I finished off this corner here. Make sure it's nice all the way down, covers everything up. You got a nice seam there, and this one here is all in. So of course I'm missing this board and one over here, but as you can see, this gives you the nailing edge on the back side. And everywhere that I attached with some screws here, I put the construction adhesive on the back side. So that's pretty well it for today. I'll bring you back when the whole project is finished, and I'll be glad to get rid of this old gate here. And you know, it's nice to be able to do a project like this where, you know, I have a dog, right? And you know, I have to do this project over a couple of days. So I mean, you just can't tear the whole gate down and have nothing there. So, well, I hope you like it so far. I'll bring you back when it's all done. Well, the gate's all finished. I'll give you a little bit of a tour, show you some of the stuff that I've done that's a little bit extra from the last time. Let's get to it. Well, I'll start off at this end right here. First thing you notice, I patched in where that 4x4 post went, and we attached this piece here, and of course I just repainted the same handles, put a cap on there, and put this board here on, because like I said before, I'm going to reface this whole side of the garage. So I used this board here, and that's the gate. I'll take you in the backyard, and you can see my shed that I built there last year, and there's the bird bath. Now I put the latch right here, like I said, so children can't get in the back gate, and I'll show you the back side. So here we go here, and you've probably all noticed, yeah, I poured a concrete slab. There, that was 9 bags of 60-pounders of cement. I poured that, and you can tell by the color it's not all cured yet. It'll take about a week for that to all go white. And put another handle on the inside here. So when you got a little bit of a hook here, put on right here, latch it up, and there she is right there. Okay, so we'll start off at this corner here, and you can see how that goes. I attached a piece of wood, and that's the other half of that board there. So you got a handle to lift up on, and down here you got a space on both sides to allow for the hinges. Now if you take a look right there, you see how that hinge is kind of sagging? That's because I don't have the proper screws in there. So I will be changing the screws to a 3/8. They're 1/4 inch, and you can see how it's starting to sag a bit. So I will change all of them to the proper size. Now along here you can see I put them strips all the way along, and on the back side of the gate I did the same thing. And if you just take a look here, just within a day all these shrunk that much. That's how wet that wood was, and when I stuck it on it all shrunk. So that's it pretty much right there. And I'll show you the back of the gate one more time. Yeah, so you can see all the strips there. It only takes a couple of minutes to throw them in there, and it really finishes it off nice. Now I did mention, how did I actually join these pieces together? From here to here, there's no fasteners in here. So how did I do that? Well, I'm going to take you in the garage and I'll tell you how I did that. Well, how did I join all them pieces together without any fasteners? This right here, just a regular joiner, a biscuit joiner. And guys, this here is just the cat's meow for that kind of a project. And of course, I just threw in a couple of biscuits, 2 on each board. And I got my long clamps and glued them all together. And I just used regular white glue, and you know what? It does a great job. So I hope you like this little bit of a project I had today. And it was a little bit challenging in the beginning because, of course, you know, you're working with long sections and it can get heavy after a while. So I have lifted the gate off and on a couple of times, and I'm saying she weighs about 75-80 pounds. But as the weather gets to it and the sun gets on it and dries all that wood out, because every piece of pressure treated wood that I buy up here in Canada is just twice as heavy, you know, when you buy it compared to when it dries out over the summer. So thanks for joining me here today, and hope you like this project and maybe you got some good tips off it. And I will be changing them screws to 3/8 on one side, and they will exactly fit the hole that's there for the gate hinges to come up and down, because as you can see, if you don't put the right fastener in, it will sag. So I'm just waiting for the fasteners to come in, and that'll be the end of that project. Thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again. Let's have some more fun. Cheers.